All right. Hey, guess what? Good morning. It's 54 minutes after 9 o'clock. I am here with you guys. We are going to rock and roll until you say, hey, that's about it, right? And just share the link and let folks know that we're on. We got a couple of things that we want to ensure that we address. Good morning to our operator, Lemon, who, by the way, is back on the job. Only God knows for how long. But we have a few things to discuss, and especially pertaining to the local government elections, the upcoming local government elections, and the mixed messages and so forth. And we want to discuss that in a very sane way. No emotions and no flaring up and so forth. And when we present facts. We just don't talk off the top of our heads, right? And spill, get wild and emotional. We try to guide people on the right path. And so we will get into that, and we will discuss in a constructive manner, mind you, in a constructive manner, so that you guys can get a better understanding as to what is happening. Again, we do not believe in flaring up. Somebody said that some folks were asking, why Mark is in the U.S. Mark is this. Mark was on the ground for all those years. Put everything aside. Put everything aside. Risk my life and everything. The same Mark. Oh yeah, the same Mark. And now some of y'all vexed because of situation. Y'all want to criticize Mark and condemn Mark, and Mark got till in the US and Mark this. But when Mark used to be out there, oh yes, with just a placard, all by himself sometimes. Y'all weren't concerned about Mark and saying that Mark is in there, and Mark is there fighting for us and these. No. But because Mark, by the way, I am Mark, right? Right? I am Mark, right? Yeah, suddenly Mark is in the US and Mark shouldn't have a voice. Mark shouldn't say anything. Mark should shut up. And the people in the diaspora should shut up, right? The people in the diaspora are only worth one thing, financial contributions. Wrong. And those of you who are saying that Mark in the US and Mark, no, Mark might be in the US, probably doing more. And by the way, Mark is me, right? Some of these guys are jokers, man. Yeah, but we have better things to talk about, right? This is not to paint a picture about Mark. But when you, by the way, Mark is me, right? For those who are now joining, look, we got better things to discuss. We got better things to do, man. We just, if if a political party or someone has an issue with something, we address the issue. We don't necessarily have to agree on everything, but you don't want to just basically because you wake up one morning and Mark, by the way, that's me, right? Doesn't say something that you like, and then you get vexed and you raise up your skirt and you start abuse and bench up in the US and bench up this and bench. You see, that's the problem with our people or some of our people. We quick to throw people under the bus, kick them and condemn them and all manner of things, right? But when Mark was on the ground, a lot of them now who talking and want to criticize Mark out of emotions. They were nowhere around. You couldn't find them. They couldn't say anything. They were afraid. And now some of them want to cuss people who are overseas, as though the people who are overseas have no value, have absolutely no value. Oh, I'm not scratching anything. I'm just thinking, have no value. Only this, only money, right? Only, oh shucks, this and sometimes the truth is look. Sometimes the truth is look, right? That is sometimes the truth. But some of these folks in Guyana, they see people overseas. Oh, thank you, Lord. Right? And that is wrong. That is wrong. I'll get into the situation. I'm just allowing you guys to build up a little. Somebody saying that Mark, you're broke boy. Don't put me down in that category. At least I get what is this? This could buy chicken wing. You can't even buy chicken wing, but you know. Um, and so this morning, we are going to talk. I notice who's this? Look at Benji, darling. Look, Benji, darling. Good morning, Benji. How are you this morning? Is it Benji, darling, because you married to Benjamin that you're Benji? Or because you just like watching Ben Shap show that your name now is Benji? You guys give Benji a nice good morning, welcome there. Benji is saying that I am misleading people. I want Benji to I want Benji to give any evidence where I am misleading people. I'm giving Benji that opportunity to say where, when I, Mark Anthony, Benji, Benshap, where and when I have misled anyone. Anyone. You name it. You tell me, and I'll apologize right now. I will apologize right now. I will apologize right now. Tell me, Benji, darling, come on. You can do it, Benji. You can do it. We're giving Benji an opportunity. We're giving Benji an opportunity. Otherwise, I don't know. Benji, darling. This reminds me, how many of you guys, whilst we getting started, it's early in the morning, right? It's 10 o'clock. We got some serious business to talk about. But Roberto Gonzalez and Ann, John, and everybody, Brenda Casey and the whole crew, good morning. Tag your friends, Barbara Barrington, Barbara, not Barbara from New Amsterdam, by the way. Barbara Barrington, you're not from New Amsterdam, are you? You're not from New Amsterdam. Beatrice Selby, good morning. Now, here is what's happening. We want you guys to mobilize. And this is what we're going to be doing. We want you guys to mobilize for the local government elections and mobilize in a very constructive way because we've got to pull this off. Despite the hurdles and so forth, we've got to pull this off. And I am sacrificing my time, the radio, every single thing for this local government elections. It must not, these tongues must not go in the hands of the PPP. It must not, and we must find a way to stand up and fight back. Don't worry the fake so-called red wave. Ain't no red wave. And it's the 18th. It's not like it's month end, but they already get a red wave. Sometimes people have a different way of interpreting things, mind you. Maybe because of the way I put things over sometimes, right? But Benji, we have something for you. Let me see how many of you guys have been, you guys are real committed audience of 107.1 FM, and particularly when I'm on as well. Let me see how well you guys know Mark. I'm talking about Mark as in me, right? What do you think? What do you think Benji is going to get this morning? Benji's going to get something from us right here on 107. What do you think? What do you think Benji is going to get? Come on, let's get that energy. Let's get that positive vibes. We're not here about complaining, who this, who that. We have said what we have said already. Those who have called for the boycotting of this election, local government elections, they have a right to do that. But we also have a right to say to the people, ignore that and let us go through in these elections because it's already there. We've got to do it. And we cannot allow Jack Dale and those other vagabonds to take control of Linden, New Amsterdam, and Georgetown and other areas. We've got to stop it. We've just got to stop it. And that's what we're about here. Positive vibes. No vexation spirit and do this and that. None of that. Positive vibes. Come on, can we do it? Yes, we can. You guys are saying the donkey. No. This is what I get for you, Benji. Benji, darling. Wow. Good morning to Benji. Benji, up to now you can't say what it is that I am misleading anyone. You can't say it, Benji. But let's go. This is for you, Benji, darling.
Benji, darling, my only sweetheart. Benji, darling, will never part. He would to marry, then kiss you never part. Kiss me, Benji, darling, my only sweetheart. Benji, darling, my...
All right, Benji. You see, we're not haters. We give you Benji, darling. How many of you guys know Benji, darling? I bet Benji, darling, might be smiling right now. I bet Benji, darling, might be smiling. Let me give Benji another kiss. Mwah! That's for you, Benji, darling. Because you can't come up with anything that I'm misleading anyone. And Benji, darling, you know that. Of course you know that. We deal with positive vibes here. We don't deal with emotions and we get vexed up and we flare up and we lift up we pants and we skirt and we whine like a box stand gal and them kind of things. No, we don't do that here. That's a Babujan when a particular individual goes to Babujan. That's what they do. They raise up the frock because that's all they wear. Frock and a mini skirt. That's what they do. So that's the sort of politics they play. Mini politics. Color politics, not policy. Who can get more color and red and green? They're not dealing with policies. It's emotions and brainwashing of the people. That is what they do. And we're not going to allow any red underwear to blind us. Sometimes red is not really the best. Mind you, they have no policies. But when you look at the caliber of individuals that they put in red t-shirt and red whatever, you sometimes wonder, is Guyana really a criminal state? We already see what is happening with gangsters who have taken over the government, quote-unquote government. Gangsters upon gangsters upon gangsters. That is what's happening. Look, they get They got a particular guy. Sorry about that. Some reason I saw somebody abusing me out that I wasn't on last night. They didn't inbox me to ask, "Hey man, Mark, what's going on? You weren't on last night. What happening there?" Right? They didn't ask nothing, but they're gonna write on the person know who I'm referring to. "Mark, you disappointed me last night." Sorry, I disappointed you. I wouldn't do it any other night again. I wouldn't disappoint you. But of course, Mark is not. Mark is human being. Mark is a human being. In case you didn't know, and for those of you who don't know who's Mark, I am Mark, right? Um, and so I have a fresh cold. I wanted to be on, but I took some. What is it? What is it? NyQuil. Yeah, thinking that I'm strong enough to right past that. The NyQuil, and I'm ready to go, but I was knocked out. Some of you guys got to realize that Ben Shop, that's me, right? He's getting up there in age too. I might not look, but hey. Now, what do you guys want to talk? I want to talk about local government elections. The date for local government elections is June 12th. The PNC is contesting. The APNU PNC is contesting. Well, basically, it's the PNC. Is contesting the local government elections. The AFC is not contesting for whatever reason. The WPA has never contested the local government elections in Guyana, but they're saying to people, don't contest, don't vote. I'm against that. I think it's dangerous, and I'll explain my reason why. Not going to allow emotions and any other ricketics to get in the way. I will explain my reason why. There should be no turning back right now. The people, all of the PNC supporters and APNU supporters, and those of you who are on the fence, and those of you who are independent, because there's no other independent party or independent group or whatever that is worth a vote right now. I haven't seen any. Bobby Vera just dep on joke. Bobby is my friend for a while, but Bobby just dep on joke. Bobby is not serious. So a vote for Bobby could not be serious. Even Bobby knows that. Bobby said yesterday, after Bobby, who turned up for Bobby? Bobby, a close friend of Bobby, and another friend. 3 of them turned up yesterday. 3 of them turned up yesterday. 3. Now some of them might argue, "Oh, Ben Shop, you ran for mayor," and the people have a way of rejecting people who can really help them. But Bobby Vera, 3 votes, 3 persons turned up for Bobby. That is why I'm saying there's really no other party that people can vote for other than the PNC/APNU. That's all. And we have got to put the emotions aside. We have got to put the silly politicking aside, this silly way of going around trying to get members to support this party and that party and membership and all these sort of things. It's got to, look, don't think for a moment that Mark doesn't know what he's talking about. And when I say Mark, you guys know I'm talking about me, right? It is sad to see where we are right now. And if we continue on this path, I'll tell you guys this here now, at 10 minutes after 10 o'clock on the 17th or the 18th day of April, cat eat with dinner. Cat eat with dinner. Cat eat with dinner. You see, let me say this here. This is not going to get us anywhere. Aliyah, this is not going to, Bobby is Harman boy and who is who boy. Harman done gone in a car and probably peeping. Harman probably rich right now. And right now, all of we hustling for a little tennis roll and a little Mobby. Harman, who is Harman boy? Who bitter? Who is Harman this? We're done. We've gone past that. We've gone past that ignorance. But who is Harman boy? Who's Harman girl? That is why we are not too focused. Harman has made his mistakes, yes. But there are some good things that we can say thank you to Harman for. But Harman is done. He say done, he wash he and he gone. But almost every day you hear who's Harman boy, who's Harman girl, who's bitter. Look, the bitter thing get to me because under the coalition, when we used to constructively criticize the coalition, Y'all used to tell Mark the same thing. Y'all used to tell Lincoln Lewis the same thing, that we bitter. Y'all always know who bitter and who ain't bitter. We gone past Harmon stage, man. We gone past that. And people can't just, because things are not going how it ought to be going, say, oh, because it's Harmon people, it's Harmon this, and it's Harmon that, and it's this, and it's that. When are we going to be mature in this room? Not all of us. Some of us are, right? Some of us should be. Um, I was looking for a recording, and I've got to find that recording of this guy. You think it's only certain group of people putting on their red dandan? Nah, nah. Let me see if any one of you recognize this guy in the middle there. We circle off. Let me see if any one of you, recognize that guy. If you recognize that guy, let me know. If you recognize that guy, let me know. If you recognize that guy. Hoping that you probably do. I'm going to look at some of your comments to see whether somebody says a former police. Roberto Gonzalez, no, not a former police. Rashana Haywood is asking, who is he? Somebody said I circled 3 men. Well, the one in the middle. The one in the middle. The one in the middle. That's the one I talk about. Now, if you are from Essequibo, you will know who that individual is. If you are from Essequibo. Somebody says soup drinker. Van Classic, you might be onto something indeed. Now, the guy in the middle is from Essequibo. His name, sorry that I had to laugh, man. Sorry. But Guyanese get some names out of this world. Guyanese got some names out of this world. Right? Somebody said middleman. No, Joel. But it's the man in the middle. Since we cannot get the video, we have the video. But this is the individual not so long ago. Y'all listen carefully. This is the individual not so long ago. And then I'll get to my point.
They heard about good health care, and when they get sick, they charter plane. You understand? No, they charter plane to go to the United States. Javier, United States, Greater Cuba, Nagamutu, New York, hard bypass. Millions of dollars, millions of taxpayers' dollars being spent there. The ministers of government, the children to the American school, the best private school, and the best scholarship, where our kids go. You understand? This is what keeps going on and on. It's a cycle. You know why it's an election campaign? Election campaign is where government go out and take money from big companies, come out and fool poor people. As you fooling poor people who vote for you, when they don't vote for you, teach the poor man taxpayers dollar now and give back it to these big companies. So this is why the rich people keep getting richer and the poor remain poor. The same cycle every 5 years they come around to it. So this thing, what we want, we know we can't win the election. We need a seat to sit on that table among those politicians so we don't give away more we timber, more we oil, more we gold and diamond, more we fertile agriculture land, that we don't give away nothing to the foreign companies and left we people hand to mouth and poor and give them handout. So now is the time I am begging that you guys give the support March 2nd to change Guyana so we can have a seat in this region too where Rupan Ramutar, A.K. Falka, could represent the people of this region, that we have no yes man for political party, and I work towards the development of the people in this region. So I'm asking you guys to give your support and your vote for
All right. So the guy speaking, did you guys hear him clearly? I hope you heard him, or what Jack Dale and them and the PPP have done, and so forth and so on, and calling on people in Essequibo and across Guyana to vote for Falkak. You guys got to see me laugh, man. To vote for Falkak. And now, people could be serious? Vote for Falkak? Are you kidding me? Falkak? But look where Falkak gone now. Look where Falkak there now. Falkak no longer telling people to vote for the Falkak party. Falkak no longer telling people that they ignore the PPP and all these things. Look where Falkak there. Well, y'all know what Falkak got again now, right? Let me see if you guys should know this show so well. But before we get to Falkak got to get a present here today. Got to get a present here today. Y'all heard Falkak. Tell me what Falkak should get. Tell me what Falkak should get. Right here on this show today. What Falkak could get. I want us to work together because while we are working together, I hope you're calling your relatives and friends. And again, I repeat, I hope you're calling your relatives and friends, right, to be prepared for the local government elections, to go out and vote APNU PNC, to go out and vote APNU PNC. Let your relatives and friends go out and vote. There is no turning back right now. And I'll explain that to you guys. There's no turning back right now. If you're from Linden, call your relatives now. Call them now. And let them be prepared to vote. Let them not be persuaded by those who collect whatever money they collect for wear red t-shirts and so forth. Do not be persuaded by those individuals. Somebody said James Bond get vexed. And he said he's not going to come on my show. Well, there's nothing really James Bond could talk or say. But what I do know is that when they charged James Bond, right, when Jack Dale and them charged James Bond, we were right here supporting. We were right here saying that it was bad. It was this, it was that. So if he doesn't want to come here, it's okay. It's not like we're losing anything. He vexed. I don't know. Have you guys heard me address anybody as house slaves on this show? I say soup drinker. But have you heard me address anybody as house slaves? I don't know. Something is wrong with that guy. But whenever and if ever he comes to the U.S., we can sit and have a nice coffee. Quick coffee. Quick, swift coffee. Right? But like I've said, we're basically here to talk about issues and not to be distracted by individuals who basically probably are out for themselves, and that's it. That's what they're out for themselves, and we're not here for that. So if you are from the quarantine, call your relatives and friends for the RDC and the NDC and these sort of things, and let your people be prepared to vote. Let them be prepared to vote and not be distracted. Again, I repeat, be prepared to vote. Don't be distracted by the polyester red. It doesn't last long. You wash it and it's split up. You wash it and it's done. I bet if you wash that red t-shirt, if you wash it and when they wash it, the red t-shirt is going to either turn purple or green. Just wash it. If rain comes down right now, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Again, folks who are watching this show, do not be deceived. There's no sea of red. There's a sea of misery under the PPP regime. A sea of misery. And if y'all can't see that, then something is definitely wrong. Do not give up. Do not give up hope at all. And do not be persuaded by a couple of individuals who got on a couple of a red shirt and them is irrelevant stuff. Call up your folks in Bartica. Tell them to be prepared to go out. They've got to go out. They've got to double check their ID cards. They've got to go out and, you know what? They've got to go out and vote for the APNU AFC. I'm sorry, the AFC is not in it. They've got to go out and vote for the APNU PNC. They've got to do that. That is what this is about. It is about bread and butter. The PPP cannot offer the citizens bread and butter. They just cannot. And Baby Khan, good morning to you. Why the PPP criminal enterprise using taxpayers' money to buy these red t-shirts? That's a good question. Very good question, Bibi. Very good question. They get a handful of individuals and then they hollering, but what? Sea of red. Give me a break. Give me a break. Huh? Sea of red. What sea of red? Look, let's get back to Falkirk. Y'all want to see Falkirk? Here is Falkirk in action, not so long ago.
But this can't work. They had about good health care, and when they get sick, they charter plane. You understand?
They got their own plane, ma'am, to you operate.
No, the charter plane for go to the United States. Javier, United States, Granger, Cuba, Nagamutu, New York, Heart Bypass. Millions of dollars, millions of taxpayers' dollars being spent there. The ministers of government, the children to the American school, the best private school, and the best scholarship, where our kids go. You understand? This is what keeps going on and on. It's a cycle. You know why it's an election campaign? Election campaign is where government go out and take money from big companies, come out and fool poor people. As you fool the poor people who vote for you, when they don't vote for you, thief the poor man taxpayers' dollar now and give back it to these big companies. So this is why the rich people keep getting richer and the poor remain poor all the time. And it's the same cycle every 5 years. Every 5 years they come around and do it. So this time, what we want, we know we can't win the election. We need a seat to sit on that table among those politicians so we don't give away more we timber, more we oil, more we gold and diamond, more we fertile agriculture land, that we don't give away nothing to the foreign companies and left we people hand to mouth and pour and give them handout. So now is the time I am begging that you guys give the support March 2nd to change Guyana so we can have a seat in this region too where Rupan Ramutar, AK.
You guys miss it. Falkirk, aka Falkirk. So we got something for Falkirk though, right? We got something for Falkirk before we get back into the business of local government elections. And look, guys, we've got to pull this off. We've got to pull it off. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Stop the bickering. We've got to pull this off. But we have this for Falkirk. What do you guys think that Falkirk is going to get? It's what's it? It's mid-morning, right? Sorry about that. It's mid-morning. What do you guys think we should give Falkirk? Benji Darling already got a gift. She's gone. She's smiling. She just loves it. She's smiling. She's gone. Right? She's gone. Well, let's get this for Falkirk and we'll be right back. This is for Falkirk. I bet enough of you guys didn't know this one here. So Falkirk gone over to the PPP. Falkirk was singing a different tune now. And now moments, you know, they get some things on social media. You see something early and then moments later, there's just Falkirk. How can people take these guys seriously? That is why we've got to, we had to play that tune for Falkirk. Falkirk a knock a drum, Guinea bird a dance of me Raja. You hug me, you kiss me, you think me do larry, and whatever else. That's a nice old tune. So right now, Falkirk in making sense. Who in the right mind will vote for Falkirk or listen to Falkirk? Falkirk. And then you're saying that the sea of what? Y'all seeing? Y'all see story there? Falkirk. You know, these guys are not easy, Listen, let's go back to Falkak again. Not so long ago, Falkak about the PPP.
But this can't work. They had about good health care, and when they get sick, they charter plane.
They
You
not charter,
understand?
they got their own plane, ma'am. You operate
No,
like
they charter plane for go to the United States.
They got their own jet.
Javier, United States, Granger, Cuba, Nagamutu, New York, heart bypass. Billions of millions of dollars, millions of taxpayers' dollars being spent there. The ministers of government, the children to the American school, the best private school, and the best scholarship, where our kids go. You understand? This is what keeps going on and on. It's a cycle. You know why it's an election campaign? Election campaign is where government go out and take money from big companies, come out and fool poor people. As you fool the poor people who vote for you, when they don't vote for you, thief the poor man taxpayers' dollar now and give back it to these big companies. So this is why the rich people keep getting richer and the poor remain poor all the time. And it's the same cycle every 5 years. Every 5 years they come around and do it. So this time, what we want, we know we can't win the election. We need a seat to sit on that table among those politicians so we don't give away more we timber, more we oil, more we gold and diamond, more we fertile agriculture land, that we don't give away nothing to the foreign companies and left we people hand to mouth and pour and give them handout. So now is the time I am begging that you guys give the support March 2nd to change Guyana so we can have a seat in this region too where Rupan Ramutar, A.K. Falkak, would represent the people of this region, that we have no yes man for political party, and I work towards the development of the people in this region. So I'm asking you guys to give your support and your vote for
Falkak. Let's go. So now the people that he was lying to are asking why you left me. You left all the people, them, the couple of supporters, them in Essequibo, and you're gone drinking soup. Look, Falkak and Naka Drum, he had the nerve to tell people, aka Falkak. People, y'all could take these chaps in a red t-shirt seriously. Falkak. Falkak, you want people vote for Falkak? They get more Falkaks, but we're going to get into that shortly, right? Let me tell you a little bit about Falkak, though, and the kinds of people that Jack Dale and the PPP they love. For those who are now joining us, good morning to you guys. The focus is local government elections. Do not allow the PPP to get through in whatever way in Linden. It's not like the people in Linden are going to sit back and allow a few cronies to tamper with them there, or the people in Georgetown, or the people in New Amsterdam and other places. Now, look, y'all want to know who's Falkak? This guy there in the middle, Falkak. Rupan Ramutar, also known as Falkak, is running for mayor on the PPP slate after he was under investigation for arson, for insurance money, from allegedly, mind you, look, my hands here, allegedly burning his home down in Spring Garden, Essequibo, of course, which his brother Jit is now dead, said, as saying he moved a boat which had value from under the house after he got free money from that. He removed all the expensive machinery and all these kind of things. Now, this is the allegation here of Falkak. Falkak allegedly burned down his own house after removing expensive machinery and boat and all these other things. And then the saying is that Falkak is now alleged. Mind you, look, both hands are up. Look, guys, look, both hands are up. Alleged. Falkak is not easy. Falkak is not a church goer or anything, you know. If you think some of the black guys in the red now, if you think some of those guys are tainted, Oh gosh, Falkak? Y'all think Falkak easy? Falkak easy? Now, if the allegations are true that he burned down his own house for insurance and these are the things, and then now, who gives this guy the right to say that he is there to represent people? Look, allegations, mind you, right? But they got a lot of Falkaks, lots of Falkaks. But we are only focusing on the Falkaks who look different from this Falkak, right? We're only looking at one set of people, but they get a lot of Falkaks, they get a lot of crookish individuals that the PPP is grabbing onto and giving them red to wear. Red to wear. Now, those allegations against this Falkak are serious. I don't know what he does for a living, what sort of businessman he is. I don't know. Now, look, this one, Tariq Abraham. All they could talk about is trade, you know. There's all they could talk about is trade. But maybe why you think, look at this, because Tariq, why some of these PPP supporters are basically into these sort of things, right? Trade. Why you think Jack Dare get Falkak close to him? You think Falkak, Tariq, this is directly to you. Why you think Jack Dare pull Falkak close to him for? Right? To do exactly what you're suggesting there. And all of our listeners would agree with that. Jack Day pulled Falkak close to him to do exactly what Tariq Abraham is suggesting here. Exactly that, right? But anyway, Tariq, you get a trophy for ignorance. Only thing he could come and talk about but trade. So he has a point that's exactly why Jack Dale has Falkak close to him to do exactly that. Anyways, guys, let's get back to business, right? Let's get back to business. And good morning to all of you again. How many of you? Let me see where you guys are from. I'm going to look at some of the comments. Let's Lemon, can we remove Falkak from half? Falkak. Look, we gotta give Falkak. We gotta get this again, man. Come on, Falkak. Falkak, that's for you, man. That's for you, Falkak. A total waste of time. And we see exactly what the PPP is up to. We see it. We're seeing it. Chase Green, do you think, and I want you guys in the constituency of which she will be standing up and claiming to be representing your interest, ask yourselves this question. What has she done even when she was the deputy mayor and then the mayor? What has she done for you? What has she done for your constituency? Look, you see these people who are donning on the red shirt and the this and the that? They're not for you in your communities. They haven't done anything for you. It's a selfish game. It's out of emotion. It is bitterness. And you want to talk about bitterness? This is bitterness. This is what it's about. This is selfish politics. This is a politics of what they can grab for themselves. So nothing Chase Green can come out and say that she's doing on behalf of anyone. This is about Chase Green and Chase Green alone. And for those of you who are going to go out in her constituency to vote, or with the constituency of which she's a part of, do not vote for her. It makes no sense. It makes no sense. A vote for Chase Green is a wasted vote. They will not do anything to your constituency. They will contaminate your community. That is what they are about, to 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 contaminate your song like critic there for a moment can't pronounce word right. I know he drop out of nursery school to contaminate your constituency. They are selfish people. It's about self. And then they're going to jump up and they're going to say, oh, it's about development. It's for the community. What community? What community they're talking about? What sort of development they could talk? What you think Chase Green is a visionary? What can Chase Green do for you? What can Chase Green do for you? Come on, guys, wake up and smell the coffee. Look who she's standing next to. If the breeze blow right now, if the breeze blow right now, he fall down. He was the former Minister of Health that threatened a female activist that he was going to slap and strip her. He was going to slap and strip her. Well, first he slapped she down, and then when she fall on the ground, he stripped she. But look at him now. By the time you raise your hand, he fall down on the ground. Where is it? What is this about? Somebody's saying that she's smart. Smart with what? What is so smart about hopping over in the frying pan? What is so smart about that? What? So can somebody tell me what is so smart about that? You tell me what is so smart about that, Claire Farbs? She's smart. What makes her smart? You tell me what makes her smart. Give me a break. Give me a break, will ya? Give me a break. Now, I want to see in the comment section because you've got to fight back. You've got to fight back. Let me check in the comment section. How many of you from Linden? How many of you from New Amsterdam? How many of you from Georgetown? And then, even if you don't want to say that you're from Georgetown, wherever it is, if you have relatives in Georgetown right now, if you have relatives in Georgetown right now, or if you're listening and you are from Georgetown, you've got to do the right thing. You've got to go out and vote for APNU PNC. I think it is, sorry, Brenda Casey asked a question earlier. Can people vote for APNU PNC? That's a good question. It is APNU PNC. It is not APNU AFC. Now, what the coalition has to do is they have to get out on a campaign to let people know what they should look for. And don't wait till the last minute. They got to start right now. They've got to start right now to let the people know what is the symbol, what to look for. In case they haven't already done that, I haven't seen it. And they should be doing more of that. Because Brenda Casey asked a valid question there. Is it APNU PNC or is it PNC? So when folks walk into the voting booth, they should know exactly where they're putting their X next to. Certainly not next to the cup, but next to whatever symbol for the APNU PNC. Now, this brings me to the WPA's position and the AFC's position. Let us talk about the AFC's position first. Kemraj Ramjatan, right on this show, an impromptu call to him, said that they're not going to, meaning the AFC will not be contesting the local government elections with this current list. The WPA is calling on individuals, that very small, tiny party, is calling on supporters of the coalition, basically, because that's their target. Don't go out and vote. Confusion. Now, they have a right to do that. They have a right to do anything. They have a right to do anything. I don't say that they don't have a right. But here is where my concern is. The current list is no different than the list that was used for the 2017 elections. I'm sorry, the 2015 elections. The current list is no different than the same list that were used, or that was used, sorry, for two local government elections which were held under the coalition. What makes this list different than those other times that the coalition contested the general and regional elections, two local government elections? What makes it so different now? And that's my question. What makes it so different? Naomi is saying, Mark, you upsetting people when you say WPA is a small time. But that is true. The WPA is a tiny, tiny party with a couple of people. Of course, Dr. Hines, a friend of mine. We agree on things, we disagree on things, but we do it respectfully. The WPA is a tiny party looking for supporters. Because every time if you listen to them, they're asking, come on, guys, join them. The political parties, whether tiny or not, are basically out for that, to gather supporters, to get members and so forth. And the WPA is on a membership drive. The WPA is on a membership drive. I don't know, Jaiwan or G1 wondering is getting upset, tickling G1. And now G1, a tiny party. I'm not sure when you mean great influence. I'm not sure what you mean by great influence, but, and this is not to knock the members of the WPA, they got to do their hustle in getting support and signing up and so forth. And the bulk of people at the WPA, you don't see the WPA going in PPP stronghold, Portman, grabbing members and so forth. Keep an eye on who the WPA is basically trying to grab the membership from. But I ain't got nothing else to say for now, though, right? So now, Naomi Drucker is saying, Mark, you upsetting people when you say WPA small and tiny party. That is true. Small and tiny. The WP has never contested a local government elections in Guyana. And if I'm not mistaken, in 1992, the WPA contested, maybe not on their own, but outside of that, the WP has always hung on to a curtail of another political party to gain a piece of seat in parliament. They have never gone out there fully on their own to test themselves. I want to see the WPA go out on their own and test themselves. I want to see that. I have nothing personal against the WPA. Dr. Hines, I'd like to say that Dr. Hines is a friend of mine. I have a couple other friends, one and two of them who are WPA, and I see some of our members, one or two. We probably get one of them here, Bundari. Bundari is a WPA, and Bundari don't hide it. Bundari don't run from that, right? Whoever Bundari is. You know what I mean? I'd like to see the WPA contest an elections on their own. Contest an elections on their own. Prove your point. And then I'll be able to say that the WPA is a political party for real. That's all I'm saying. Let them contest an elections on their own. But then again, this is not about WPA bashing. It's not. WPA has an opinion, and they're calling on folks not to vote in this upcoming local government elections. And I do believe that that's not the right thing at this point in time. And so I have an opinion that obviously is not similar to that of the WPA. And I am saying that the time has long passed for people not to go out and vote. They've got to go out and vote. They've got to go out and vote, because it's the same list. If the WPA and the AFC were so concerned, then they should have stayed out of the 2015 elections. But no, the WPA was part of the coalition. And when they contested the two local government elections, the WPA was also part of the coalition. And there was no problem then. There was no problem then, but there's problems now. And that is where I'm wondering. That is why I'm wondering why now and not then. Now, don't get me wrong. I do believe that the list is bloated, but that is why we have to get our commissioners them within GCOM to help to hold constant, regular press conferences instead of press releases and these occasional press releases and so forth. We've got to have regular press conferences so that our commissioners there in GCOM would be able, our commissioners in GCOM would be able to give you guys ball by ball commentary. Tell us what is happening in there. Don't wait until something happens. When was the last time you've heard or got a press conference from the commissioners at GCOM? When was the last time have you seen or heard from all three of our commissioners together? We have Vincent Alexander there, we have Charles Corbin there, and we have Desmond Trotman, who is an executive member of the WPA. When was the last time we've heard from these three guys together at a press conference? If things are that bad in GCOM, and I do believe they are bad, who is in a better position to talk to us, the people, and to break everything down, whether through a slide or whatever, as to what is happening in there? What is happening in GCOM? We want to hear. Not everyone is going to pick up a newspaper and try to read everything. No, people want to see from these guys. People want to hear from these guys. What's happening? What's going on? But then again, let's not be distracted. Let us get back to the point. I see a lot of you are from Georgetown, and usually the statistics and so forth, that when we pull our files up to see where you're viewing us from, the majority of people are in Georgetown. Georgetown, Linden, New York. That's what it is. Georgetown, Linden, New York, New Amsterdam, other parts of the world, and so forth. We get the breakdown. And I don't want us to lose focus right now. Let us get back on track. The local government elections is on June 12th. What do we do? Do we allow ourselves to be brainwashed by this so-called sea of red because of a handful of individuals who have some have no influence and some do not have that much influence in the community? It's all a self game right now. It's all a self game right now. And those who are out for themselves are the minority. Hence, my reason for you guys to stay focused. Stay focused. Stay focused. And prove a point. Prove a point to the PPP. And let the PPP see that not because they may see a couple people who were paid to put on red shirt. Some people who were paid to put on red shirt, don't let those people fool you guys. Do not let them fool you guys or brainwash you guys into thinking that they have this elections. They don't have it. So call your relatives, call your friends, wherever they are, and let them know. Look, for example, this national footballer, they go into the communities and they bribe these individuals. They bribe these individuals. They give them some small contracts and so forth, and they bribe these individuals, bribe them. They bribe these individuals. In Agricola, about 10 guys received what? 10 guys received $23 million. Not each, $23 million. Guyana dollars to go and clean drains. Split it up between 10 guys, $23 million to go and clean drains and gutters. Clean drains and gutters. You know what they're saying to these guys in these communities? Is that they're not worth anything else. They're not value anything else. other than drains and gutters. We want to see, according to the PPP, they want to see these young black men doing one type of job. And this is what maybe they sit in Freedom House and at office of the president and they discuss. You know what they say? Oh, we know how to get the black folks them. We're going to go in there. They're going to look for some of the strong men, not strong physically, but those who have criminal records and those who probably sell the little thing in the corner, they sell the little white lady at the corner and so forth. And they're going to put shackles on them. They're going to put shackles on them and handcuff them politically, economically. And they're going to give them some crumbs. And the crumbs that they're going to give them is not worth much, but they're going to let them go in right there into their communities. And guess what? Clean drains, clean gutters, and so forth. Just like what they did in Buxton, the PPP went into Buxton and give the guys them in Buxton, some people say Buxton, give the guys them in Buxton a couple of knives and cutlass and thing, and tell them that we love you guys in Buxton. But they go in other communities and they give them dragline, combine, Hymac, and all these different things, tractors and so forth. But the people in Agricola only deserve, according to the PPP, and the same PPP say that they love all these people. They give them combine, they give them tractor, and they give them these sort of things in the other communities. However, sadly, in places like Agricola and so forth, they only give them a cutlass, give them a couple pitchforks, and so forth to go and clean up. In Linden, that is what they do. They go into those communities, whether in the valley or wherever, and they grab a couple of those guys and they give them drainage. Oh, we give them contracts. And then they say, under the coalition, they never give you contracts. They never do this for you and they never do that for you. And then those guys now who are grabbing the contract, they're not seeing farther than that. They say, it's true by, it's true by. The coalition never do nothing, blah, blah, blah. It's true by, it's true by. But they're not thinking that the coalition was in office for just 3 years. They had to battle the next 2 years because of corrupt individuals. But these guys who are now selling their souls, the few guys who are now donning out in their red shirt, are selling their souls because of selfishness, not because of any community value or any interest in their communities and so forth and so on. It is a self-interest. That is what it is. And so they can't see that you have a regime that is belittling them, belittling their value, and just saying that you're going to get some cleaning contracts. So they send these black brothers out into the communities. To early morning, you're going to see them. They're going to clean gutters. And if one of them let's say one of them gets 4 million Guyana dollars, which is just about under 20,000 US dollars, they're going to round up 30, 40, 50 youths in the community. And then you get the impression that, whoa, boy, jobs boy. Yeah. Like, you know, Lyndon, people love to say, that's where I first learned that stuff a couple of years ago. Yeah. You say hi to somebody, Lyndon, the first, yeah, right? Yeah. And so some of them who can see how destructive the PPP is, you can't see that. So they're going to accept whatever little pittances that they're getting, 5,000, 10,000, and all these things, and say, yeah, boy. But they're not seeing that the only value that the PPP sees in them is that they can clean gutters, clean drains, mix cement. That's all. Now, some may argue the coalition could have done more. Yes, we can argue that. Was the coalition on the path to do more? I think so, yes. Did they make some mistakes? Hell yes. But we're not here to talk about that. On another program, we will talk about that. But let's talk about the hustling mentality of the PPP and these red T-shirts individuals. Now, during the coalition, Some of these guys, these hustlers, we know who they are. A couple of hustlers from Linden. We're seeing hustlers in Georgetown and hustlers other places. Hustlers, Maniga Mek. So the PPP is being seen as a Maniga Mek mentality for some of these guys. We got make money. Money got make. While the community and the country is being destroyed. Money got make. They got hustle. Whatever they're hustling, they got hustle and they got to be part of that scheme to rob taxpayers in the country. And the PPP ain't care who they pick up and put a red t-shirt next to them. Them ain't care if the person is a phantom squad guy. Them ain't care if the person is a death squad member. Them ain't care if the person is a drug lord, drug dealer, whatever. As long as everybody just go to them and sing the song together, Polka, Kanaka, drum, them ain't care who the individual is. Them ain't give a damn. That is how disrespectful they are. And then they take those individuals and put them back into communities to basically strong arm those communities. Hey, you know, some of them walk around with their guns and all these manner of things. Is that the way to run a country? Is that democracy? If you guys cannot see what is happening to Guyana, and if you guys cannot call up your relatives and your friends in those tongues, whether it's Linden, Georgetown, wherever, and open their eyes, my brothers and sisters, open their eyes. Can't eat all of our dinner. Can't eat we dinner. There is no Guyana left in 2 or 3 years from now. There wouldn't be a Guyana. Please wake up and smell the coffee. Let me check some of your comments here as you guys would call up your friends, your relatives to start this campaign right now. We cannot just depend on the brothers and sisters on the ground to carry this struggle. We've got to play our part too, regardless of where we are. And some of them with this myopic way of thinking believe, out of emotions, they believe that those of us who are not physically in Guyana, we are of no value to them. We are of no value to the struggle. When it's quite the opposite. Had it not been for the few of us or for those of us who are outside of Guyana, the PPP would have been walking and trampling upon the entire Guyana. Because while for the most part those who are back in Guyana are reluctant to speak out, are afraid to speak out, those of us who are in the diaspora, whether through these forms of programs and so forth, are not afraid to speak out. Are not. And some of us who were there on the ground in Guyana were never afraid to speak out either. And so this nonsense has to stop. That Mark is in America and Mark this and the body this and the body that. A lot of you guys, I'm not the type who telegraph my shots. I'm not the type who run and boast, oh, this is what I do, this is what I do. That's not me. Them things are getting people, but not me. And nobody is going to set me out to telegraph my shot as to what exactly we do, whether it's through a small group or whatever, to ensure that we expose, not just on these shows, but find other ways to expose through the evidence and all these sort of things to the relevant places. We don't have to telegraph. We don't have to talk about that to look nice and sound good. We don't have to do that. So again, let's go back here. Peggy says something that your grandmother used to say. Good morning, Peggy. How are you? Peggy's saying that her grandmother used to say, when you make your bed hard, you have to lay on it. The people in Guyana should be aware of that. I agree with you. I agree with you. Fix Our Us Guyana is saying, hey, Mark, you need to find a job. Donations drying up. You didn't say that to Jack Deere when every time they're collecting money from drug lords. You didn't say that to Jack Deere when they're stealing billions of our oil money, oil revenues, hundreds of millions. You don't say that to them when y'all donate to Jack Deere and all of them. You don't say that to them. Y'all don't say that. But because we do what we do here, and mind you, we don't do it for donations. Go to Jack Dale and spread that to Jack Dale. Not to me, wrong bang. Not to me, wrong bang. Because even if I got to spread the word with Swank or Mobby or whatever, I will do it. I've been there and I've done that. Don't put me in that category. But since you mention it, Jack Dale, they do it every day. Drug lords, money launderers, gold smugglers, all these people, they beg and they get donations from. So don't come here on these sort of shows and try to ridicule us because it's not working. It is not going to work. Fixer us Guyana. You mean broker us Guyana. That is what it's about. I'm sure you're probably one of those low-level Phantom Squad killer or one of those low-level drug lord. I'm sure if we check your Facebook page, we'll see exactly what you're about. Probably looking for a little business deal in Guyana. So you feel that you could talk, right? But we'll give you your 15 minutes of fame. Look at Jack Dale. You think it's real money? It's people money, is donation, and possibly corruption. Possibly corruption. We are not afraid of donation. In fact, it's not a crime. Everybody does it. So don't try to ridicule us. Don't try to ridicule us. You think we are afraid to put up our donation, Cash App and Zelle? You think that makes us look bad? Hell no. Hell no. I prefer, and I'm sure I speak on behalf of the others who would ask and get their donation. I prefer that we go this route than to thief the billions of dollars and hundreds of millions of dollars of taxpayers' monies. Hundreds of millions of dollars of taxpayers' money. Hundreds of millions. Jack Dale and the PPP, they steal every single day that they deprive Guyanese from. They give out handouts and all these different things they do. They give out handouts to their friends and their cronies. People like Fixer Us Guyana. I'm sure Fixer Us is some sort of new business that they have right now. New business, and he's looking for handouts and donation from the taxpayers of Guyana. That is what they're looking for. And I believe Lemon already sent Fixer Us, broker us up, packing. Let us remind our listeners about this guy and what Sue said about him. We still have that in the back of our minds, you know. We haven't forgotten you, Jack Dale.
Source. Okay, well, maybe the Chinese company that did not get the agreement that they wanted here, maybe they're the ones who told you. Or it could be just a fictitious thing.
Okay, well, let's talk about specific individuals. What is your relationship with Mr. Sue Jerome?
So my relationship? Nothing. He's a tenant in my place, yeah.
And he's a good friend of yours?
A tenant. Look at this soup drinker. He can't even speak properly. Flatfoot hustler. Here on this Flatfoot hustler, I think he's from Linden or wherever. I don't even know who he is. You will never get to thief. This Flatfoot hustler can't even speak properly. Who could they represent? Who could this Flatfoot hustler represent? Get out of here, man. Probably finish up, North Street School. Go finish up North Street School. Flatfoot hustler. Probably get a little money from the PPP if you go and sell dark food. You know? That's what it's about. You catch them and you give them a little dark food money and they are all right. They're okay. They are right. Flatfoot hustlers, they're called. And that is what the PPP does. They hoots these Flatfoot hustlers out there. Enough of that Flatfoot hustler, man. Let that Flatfoot hustler go. They make no sense. Now back to the look, they're coming up. They're coming out. Oh gosh, the trench crappos, they're coming out. It's hurting them. Oh yes. As Dr. David Hines would say, you see? Yes, they're bitter, right? Lexi Boss, they're bitter. Roberto Gonzalez, they're bitter. They can't beat us. They can't beat us. They know that they're panicking right now. Jack, they're giving them an extra $1,000 and a half box of fried rice. They got to split it to come out and challenge us right now. But they can't make it. They can't make it at all. They just can't make it. Come and talk. Look who they're sending for. A little chihuahua. Ow, 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 ow. Little puppy. Right? And then when you talk now, they're gone in the corner. Now let's stay focused for a moment here, right? Let's stay focused. Let's stay focused. Let's stay focused. I'm looking at some of your comments, guys. Oh gosh, look, another trench crop up on we here. Look, he face. Look, this one face. You should thank Jack there to take you out of jail so you can bark up the fence now. Look, Ali, he is worse than Irfan Ali. This guy can't even spell properly. Look his sentence. Look his face, like dry up coconut. You should thank Jack there to take you out of. Oh, look at this guy. Look at this Nimakaram. He deserves, look. We're not going to be distracted, because we're on to something. They're feeling it. The bumps raising and they're tickling them. The red t-shirt, the blood that's on the hands of Jack Day and Irfan and all them dripping right now. And so the evil spell is beginning to haunt them. That's why they can't take the truth. Let's give him this award. Oh man, by the time they've done this, the trench is gonna be empty. The donkey gonna be tired. We know how to handle them, right? We know how to handle them exactly. We know how to handle them. We don't have a problem with them. We're not afraid of them. We could handle them on the ground and we could handle them on the air as well. I can handle them whether I'm in Guyana or whether I'm out of Guyana. So don't bring that to me, right? But let us stay focused. The trenches are coming out. We are doing something that them enable with, right? We are doing something that them enable with. What we are doing is exposing them. We are exposing them, and they don't like that. And so they're sending all them little dotish set of trench crappos to come and make idiotic statements. That's what they're doing. In my Desmond Hoyt voice, ain't making no sense. No, that sounds like Granger. They're making no sense. They're not making any sense. They're not making any sense. Thank you, Jennifer. Sorry, Jennifer. Krusashunk, right? Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you. Thank you so much. And this brings me back to, the struggle wasn't easy. Let's take a commercial break on this struggle to remind the idiotic individuals but the struggle. Thanks for reminding me, Jennifer. Jesus Christ is the worst. It's a must, Jesus Christ went through worst. But I want to know, why is it that the government is afraid to retry me? I really want to know why. God bless. the the trenches are coming. I like to expose the trenches. I like to expose the trenches. This is another trenchy. The trenchy wants me to win an award for talking junk. The trenches, they're coming out. They got a song by Houdini. The freaks comes out at night. The freaks come out at night. But these are the freaks, the political freaks who don't wait, the trench crappos. They don't wait until nighttime to come out. They no longer embarrass. They mean shame, but they got to cover up themselves and disguise themselves and come and talk crap. That's what they do. They come and talk crap. Every single one of them, I ask a question. Every single one of them, I ask a question. Tell me what is it that I'm talking that is wrong. Tell me. And that person said that I should win an award for junk. This is actually a national award, not for junk. All right? Thank you guys for that. Thank you. Right? And so they cannot come to argue anything of substance. They can't. I show them what's happening with Falkak. And then I show them what Falkak said not so long ago. Let me show them again what Falkak said. Let them use Falkak, not me. Not me. This is what Falkak said, and Falkak was right about the PPP.
But this can't work. They heard about good health care, and when they get sick, they charter plane.
You
You understand?
They got their own plane, mom, to you. You operate
No,
like
they charter plane for go to the United States. Javier, United States, Granger, Cuba, Nagamutu, New York, heart bypass. Billions of millions of dollars, millions of taxpayers' dollars being spent there. The ministers of government, the children to the American school, the best private school, and the best scholarship, where our kids go. You understand? This is what keeps going on and on. It's a cycle. You know why it's an election campaign? Election campaign is where government go out and take money from big companies, come out and fool poor people. As you fool the poor people who vote for you, when they don't vote for you, thief the poor man taxpayers' dollar now and give back it to these big companies. So this is why the rich people keep getting richer and the poor remain poor all the time. And it's the same cycle every 5 years. Every 5 years they come around and do it. So this time, what we want, we know we can't win the election. We need a seat to sit on that table among those politicians so we don't give away more we timber, more we oil, more we gold and diamond, more we fertile agriculture land, that we don't give away nothing to the foreign companies and left with people hand to mouth and pour and give them handout. So now is the time I am begging that you guys give the support March 2nd to change Guyana so we can have a seat in this region too where Rupan Ramutar, A.K. Falka, could represent the people of this region, that we have no yes man for political party, and I work towards the development of the people in this region. So I'm asking you guys to give your support and your vote for
Well, that is what they gotta go to people like Falkak and them, not me, because what we speak here is the truth. That is what we speak, and they just can't deal with it. Now let's head back to this this so-called sea of red. There's no sea of red. There's nothing. It's brainwashing. They paid a bunch of people to go to Babujan the other day. They're paying people to go in, like take for example in Linden. They get a couple of their supporters in Linden. But according to my sources in Linden, the bulk of people who were there in Linden wearing red, the bulk of those people are not from Linden. And so what the PPP did, what Jack Dave and these guys did, they were able to, what they did is they spent taxpayers' money to bus people, send them in to Linden to make it look as though that look what is happening in Linden. Guys, it's a brainwashing tool that is being used, a brainwashing agenda, a propaganda campaign to make you guys feel. Let's take, for example, this here. Let's take a look at this here and let's break it down. I want to break it down for you guys. Look at this. They waited until this was where PPP supporters were. AP and UPNC supporters were at another side. So the photographer is not going to take a photograph to make it look as though, where all the folks with their green t-shirts were. They waited until some AP and UPNC supporters were responding to the ignorance of some of those PPP supporters. And so they took a picture and they're trying to show this photograph. But look, just a handful of AP and UPNC people came out. This is deception. Of course, it's propaganda. And we've got to call it out for what it is. Ignore these sort of things. Ignore these sort of things. A lot of these people going out to Linden or wherever they've gone to, they bust in. Free bus, free food, free transportation, hang out, listen to a little song, they sing, drink a little rum, they promise a little contract. In the case with these black brothers, well, black guys, they promise little money for going clean drains, dig gutters, go in the mud, dirty up your skin. That is what they do. They do not mean well, guys. Here, let's get back to this campaign here. Let's get back to the campaign. And that's why I have said, and I hope in the beginning I said this, that the AFC, unless they have said that already, since they are sitting out the elections and the AP and UPNC is contesting the elections, then the AFC should be urging their supporters, whatever little supporters they have left, to go out and vote overwhelmingly for AP and UPNC in the local government elections. This has nothing to do with leadership and who this and who that. Go out and vote. This is about the struggle. This is about ensuring that the PPP and their cronies do not take control of Georgetown, Linden, New Amsterdam, or wherever else. That is what it's about. Now, some folks have been saying, and I've read, that the PNC is not contesting. The PNC is not contesting Lethem. I don't know for what reason, but Lethem is a tongue came alive under the coalition. Lethem is a tongue that is the brainchild of Burnham, of course, PNC. Lethem became a township under the PNC, under the coalition. I don't know why. I don't know why they're not contesting the local government elections in Lethem. I just don't know why. For me, it doesn't make sense unless the leadership can explain why. That tongue, lights, proper roads, every single thing under the coalition, under the PNC. All these things. And now look, wait a minute. Let's pause for a moment. Mohammed, you see, I emphasize with this brother here. This brother is saying here that they sent him to Babujan. They promised him money, and he didn't get paid yet. He didn't get no money. You see, shame on the PPP, shame on Jack Deal, shame on Irfan Ali. Mohammed Tamis, I'm with you, my brother. Assalamu alaikum. Y'all seeing it for yourselves. Mohammed Tamis went to Babujan and he didn't get no money yet. He didn't get no money yet. Mouth open, story jump out. Thank you, Mr. Mohammed. Y'all seeing it for yourself, right? Mohammed is explaining it to us that he went and he didn't get no money. Shame and disgrace on the PPP. Shame, he didn't get his money yet. I feel it. You know how many people were forced to go into Babujan? You know how many of them were forced to go into Babujan and they didn't get paid? They were part-time workers who were earning $40,000 a month, that the PPP and the PPP operatives threatened them that they got to go in. They got to go in to Babu Jan. They got to put on red t-shirts. My friends, this is not right. You know how many of those 40,000 a month part-time workers had to put on red t-shirts and walk with those red t-shirts in Linden? You know how many of them did that? They were forced to do that under the PPP regime. They were told that if they don't do that, they will no longer receive $40,000 a month. That could never be right. Shame and disgrace on the PPP, forcing and paying those people to put on red t-shirts. Forget about the ones who are getting drainage contracts. Forget about them. But this is how the PPP, where's my calculator? Let's break it down. That is how they're using your money, your taxpayers' money. They're wasting it. Let's prepare to go all the way in Georgetown right now. And see if we get Lincoln Lewis. Lemon, do we have Mr. Lincoln Lewis with us? Lemon. All right, we have Lincoln Lewis with us. Probably block out right away. As soon as we get on to him, block out right away. Good morning, sir. Good morning. We're not hearing you. You're
Good morning, Mark. Good morning, listeners. Good morning, brothers, sisters, friends, and well-wishers. Even those who come online to express another view beside mine or yours.
Yesterday, we spoke about the red t-shirts and the individuals who were forced to wear it, those who were paid to wear it, those who were bussed in from other areas, and all these manner of things to brainwash people. Gosh, you've had some time to sleep on it. We're back up. We're up and running again. What are your thoughts this morning, and especially sympathizing to those paid part-time workers who were forced and threatened to put on a red t-shirt?
Let me say to you that the PPP is in its true colors. They will not stop at anything. They have been, history has shown you over a number of years that they are good at not only buying votes, but buying or renting a crowd. And even if it requires them using the state resources to do so, they will do it. What we have to do is to make sure, as a people, hold them accountable for every action. This thing about people have been calling me since night before the last. Workers have been calling me to say on West Demerara they have been asked to assemble those people who are getting the $40,000 or $60,000 to assemble at a certain supermarket, and from there they will go to a march. They have to assemble with red shirt, and then they will march to some school over there. Basically, they have been questioning whether it is right or it's wrong. Most of them have been saying, look here, we are not in for it. We know this is a political thing, but we are told that if we don't do it, then we will not be paid for the day. The point is that it is not something that somebody tell me only. I've seen a circular verifying the accusations that were made by the respective persons who may have called me. In Linden, I have listened to the voice note. I know the young man I know the voice, I know him. He lived behind me at Linden, in Mackenzie. In fact, he lived behind me next street. My back door was his back door, so I know him growing up. And I want to tell you, it's alarming to understand the depths that the PPP will go at any time to write the crowd or to buy a vote. GCOM has to make sure that votes are being done. We have to march, in fact. We have to hold GCOM accountable. We have to make sure that we get them, that nobody goes into the phone booth with a camera, with a telephone, that they can take out a photograph. It must be left outside.
That Lincoln, that's a good point because no one should be taking photographs. We know Kashif did that to prove to the PPP that he voted for them. And what we're hearing is that the PPP is saying to these individuals who are being paid that, or who are being given contracts to clean drains and so forth, that on the day of voting, they got to take a photographs to show it back to Freedom House that they have voted for the PPP. That is illegal. They cannot and should not have cameras there. But continue, sir.
Yes, we need to, those are the type of things that we have to start taking measures. Let me tell you very clearly that I'm a trade unionist force. I'm a citizen force. I'm a trade unionist second. And after that, I'm a rights activist, looking for rights, fighting for rights, defending rights, and I'll make sure one of the things that I will be walking across the various regions as far as practicable to spread the message to the people that they have to protect that right to vote. We must do so. I can do nothing else than to protect one of the greatest cause that was advocated, conceptualized, and advocated for by Hubert Nathaniel Critchlow, who in 1926 started the march for one man, one vote. I have to work towards protecting that. And that vote must be by way of a ballot, and that ballot must be secret, and nobody else must know who you vote for. If you say to somebody who you have voted for, then what you have done is to basically defeat the principle and purpose of a secret ballot. Balloting must be secret, and you cannot at any point, and you have not come out to see that.
And the PPP, they're telling these guys that they're paying to clean gutters and drains that they got to take a photograph to prove that they voted. Or we're hearing also that they're signing those proxy forms, giving out their ID cards. And so therefore, right now, the PPP already have these handful of individuals already surrendered their ID cards to vote via proxy. That is another thing that
no. I believe that this we must fight against it. Fight against it. If we said that we are going to, who live overseas cannot vote if they are in this country, then we are opening up for people who live overseas to vote inside these elections, who are out of the area to vote in these elections. They don't live here, and you say that you're going to, unless you live here, you're not going to be given the opportunity to vote. If you're doing that proxy, then you are defeating the principle or the purpose of saying to people who live in foreign countries that they cannot participate in the election. This election here, is to people who live in the respective communities. And you have to vote for your leadership. I'm strongly of the view that political parties, when it comes to election or local government election, they are not to be there. I believe it is for the locals, for the people among themselves in the respective communities to determine who will be their leaders, and not political parties putting up nominees for these areas. I've written about it. I have advocated about it, and I will not change. I will continue to say that the political parties must seek to get out of the local elections of the NDC and village councils and so on. We cannot, if we are,
I read some of your letters and your position on that. We've gone way past that stage now. Is how do we encourage our people to go out there? And I respect what you just said there, mind you, is to have our folks go out there and be prepared to vote, to ensure that their vote count every one of their votes. But
Let
here
me
is somebody saying,
let me
Beverly Crandon is saying here that she has no faith in GCOM under this corrupt PPP regime. Your take on what she's saying, and how much faith do you have in GCOM?
I don't I don't have faith in the operatives in GCOM. I don't have faith in them. That's why I've said earlier this week, I have made the point that what we ought to have while we vote, we must hold them accountable. We must make sure that our vote is being counted. But I know we will not be able to change the system now where their individual groups can come up within the communities. As I said, that it was community groups and individuals from the community need to run. We have passed that. I agree with you. The political parties are there. But let me make the point that we must make sure that our votes are being counted. We not just vote and just go home. If we do that, we are going to allow those people inside there to be involved in their shenanigans again. We have had so many ballot boxes in 2020 without supporting evidence and being counted. And then you hear after who rig election or who tried to rig election. When the statutory regulation demands that every ballot box that the information is being verified based on the documentation that is posted in that box. You did not have that in 2020. I'm saying that in 2023 at the local government election, we must all across the country make sure that every vote is counted and accounted for.
So, I see with people who are saying that the system is stocked against them and that it is so corrupt that they believe that their vote might not count. We have lost Lincoln on that. That they believe that their vote might not count. We have seen this almost every elections. We lost Lincoln Lewis there for a moment. Sorry about that, guys. My apologies. Let's see if we can get him back, please, Lemon. The same thing, the same reasoning in 2015, the same reasoning 2 local government elections after, and now we're hearing the same thing now. What do we do as a people in terms of going out and voting and to ensure that every vote counts? Your vote must be counted. That is why you have what is called your scrutineers, your elections people, your workers on the ground to do. This is what the PPP did when they were in the opposition. They got the people in every area. They didn't sit and complain on social media and pull out and say who must vote and who mustn't vote and all these mixed messages and so forth. They didn't have that. They didn't have that. What about party supporters going out there and doing party work? Whether it's from Congress Place in Linden to walk around, do party work, Congress Place in New Amsterdam, party work, Congress Place in Georgetown, the main headquarters. Go out there and do party works. Now is the time to do that. And hopefully the AFC will do what is right and urge their supporters to vote for APNU PNC in this local government elections. Not because the AFC is not a part of it and they have whatever reasons that they cannot urge their supporters to go out and vote APNU PNC. Well, the WPA have already said that. They're mashing up everything. They want to broke up everything. Right? They want to broke up everything. That's it. It's done with for them. It's okay. They can have that opinion. Just a couple of them. They are entitled to that opinion. I know when I say a couple of them, it's Vex, but Francine and good morning, the other guys, them. We have Lincoln Lewis back. Mr. Lewis, sorry about that. We lost you there for a minute. How much confidence, again, going back into individuals who feel that the system is so stuck up against them, that it is so corrupt right there at GCOM, and they feel as though they have no other, they just don't know what to do. Hence the reason for not having
Can
confidence.
can I make a point? There are a number
Sure.
of them that I don't have confidence in. I don't have confidence that they will be operating in the interest of the citizenry of this country. I am convinced about one thing, that many of them in GCOM and those who are recruited part-time will want to skew the system or use the system or do things, manipulate the system to make sure that the current party in government has the advantage in things being done. But one of the things I need to say to everybody, that change can only come. Change can only come if we come out as a people and make sure that they do what is expected of them. We should not sit down and wait for somebody. We can mobilize in each NDC, in each town, to make sure that the ballots that are cast are people who live in the area, who can account in the area, and those votes are accounted for. If we sit down at home or we just vote and go home and lie down, we will give them an opportunity to really do rub chad over us, do other things. We as community, as people in the community, residents of the community, we need to go out. We need to form ourselves into groups and make sure that those votes are, the votes that are eligible, be counted. We need to do that. We cannot do otherwise. We cannot sit down. And I'm going to tell you something. This is not a fight only for the political leaders. It is a fight for every citizen to make sure that what is just and fair occur during this election. To do otherwise is to abrogate our responsibility to the society, to our children, to our grandchildren, and to really destroy what our forebears have fought for. We've got to fight. This has to be another approach. We have to walk the street. Mark, you in your own way, as the host of this show, has to make sure that the message, you bring people on board to make sure that the message is being communicated to citizenry across the country. We have to work together. This is an opportunity for the involvement of the citizenry in taking back what is justly there, and do not allow the people or those who are planted in GCOM to manipulate the system and deliver against our will.
Well said. Lincoln Lewis there for you guys. We're urging you guys to organize, be organized, call up your relatives or your friends if you're not on the ground there, and let them be vigilant. Let them go out. Let them be prepared to go out and vote. Let their votes be counted. Vote against the PPP. They cannot take control of Libya.
For you people, Mark, let me make this point.
Sure, sir.
Can I make a point, Mark?
Sure,
Everybody who collecting money from them, let me tell you something. Many of you are Christians. You believe in the life and teaching of Christ. You understand. Jesus was sold for a few shillings. You're against that. You follow the life and teaching of Christ. What you are doing is, when you collect money for a vote, is that you're selling yourself, your children, your grandchildren, and the legacy of your forebears for $10,000, $5,000. That's what you're doing. You are selling yourselves back into colonialization. Money. It is said that money is the root of all evil. And what is being done now is conforming that view that money is being used as an evil mean of taking people back into colonialism. Is to take them back into indentureship. These people are taking the resources of this country that belong to the citizenry of this country to, to pay you, to vote for them, to take you back into the mode that you are into the system that you are fought against, your forbearer fought against. If they believe that you're entitled to $10,000 a day, then what they need to do is to put it on your salary, $10,000 more on your salary per day, and pay you something that is decent. What you're doing is selling yourselves short. You imagine if for the 22 days a public servant is expected to work, you have decided that you're going to apply, even if it's $5,000 more on each day. What it will be, check it out. Check it out. Let them put the money there. Don't pay you to vote. Don't pay you to do things to come to take you back into slavery. Don't take you back into indentureship, colonialism, and what have you. This money belongs to you. It is not their money. And people need to understand that. People need to fight back. It is time for action. The moment that they have decided that they will pay people $5,000 and $10,000, up the street and give you a box of food after, that is that you work. You work that in every 3 years. That is what they're telling you. That every 3 years we will pay you that. That is where you work. How can you sell yourself so short? How can you do that? People need to wake up and and approach things differently. We cannot stand up and allow these people to do this to our people. It's question here, well, I will not take it. My kids will not take it. My family, I will tell no take it. I'm going to tell you this. If I don't tell you not to do it, then I am equally culpable as the people who are telling you that you must take it, to bring it for you to take. We got to fight back. This is not about the PPP alone. This is for every political party. Don't see our people like that. Don't see our people like that. The massa, during the time of slavery, used to bring the old clothes and throw it and give those who throw the old clothes and give those who used to carry news to them. What they're doing now is repackaging it. The people who they're giving there is people who they believe will carry news to them on the citizens of this country who said that they're not supporting them. That is what they're doing. Time for action. Brothers and sisters, time for action. Time to do different things. Time to approach it differently.
How dangerous, how dangerous, Lincoln, it is for anyone to suggest at this time in the game that people should not go out and vote. How dangerous is that, sir?
You can't send different messages to people. It has to be one message. My understanding is that the opposition leader said that they're going to contest, and quietly, me understanding, may have said to the I understood it quietly that he may have been saying to the NDCs that they need to organize for such an action too. We cannot, and while from a political perspective, it may be wrong for politicians to tell people don't vote. From my vantage point, from where I am sitting in the office of the General Secretary of the Guyana Trade Union Congress, Critchlow fought for one man, one vote, and internal self-government in this country. And I'm saying to you that if I do otherwise, I will be betraying the vision, spirit, and intent of Critchlow. I can't be seen as a traitor to the father of the trade union in the British Empire. But I'll say to my political comrades, anytime you say to people don't vote, you need to give them an alternative. And what I'm not seeing is the alternative to no vote. So so I will wish to urge people that we have to get one message to the people. And that message should be, go out and vote and protect your vote. That's what we say.
Go out and vote and protect your vote. What is your take? Because the people of Georgetown definitely have to go out and vote, the people in Linden. Um, the PPP, with the amount of individuals who have been paid to put on their red t-shirts and so forth, are you uncertain about the PPP gaining some sort of upper hand in Georgetown and Linden? Let us say.
I am not certain, neither am I uncertain. I have not done the analysis. I'll tell you what, I knew for a fact that the PPP would have, I knew how the PPP behaved. Let me tell you something. Over the years, I've dealt with the PPP. I'm reading them like when you're playing cricket with a football. I know what they will do. I know what they will do. Let me tell you what they will do. They will take a man and they ask you to join the party and they offer you money. But before you get that money, you got to pay up something. You got to go there. If you're a leader in the PNC or any political party, you got to go there and demonize that political party. If you come from the African community, you got to come out there and say there's no racism before they give you something. And when they're finished with you, after then, they're putting you, they're gradually putting you at the periphery. But when you meet to the periphery, when you meet at the line there, you are afraid to cross the line to go back where you come from because you're not going to be welcome. Is that there's nothing over there for you. So they will show you over here as milk and green grass over the PNC, the PPP side. And they will say the opposition one. And you being given the crumbs, you will feel that the crumbs is enough that you can continue to sell your soul. I see the PPP. I understand and I know that the PPP will have been paying people and bring them out here. Let me tell you something. Your family called me and he said to me, you know, they are offering $10,000, a t-shirt and a box of food to go out there. And he said, I am not going to go. I said, why are you not going to go? He said, I remember 2015, the same thing was done at Bath Settlement. Many of us done with t-shirt and we went over and as soon as we get here, we get $5,000 box of food and we cut out and go back. And I remember, well, you know, you spoke to us about what we are doing. You see, I've learned from that experience. I've learned from what you have said to me, and I'm not going back there. I am telling you that this thing is not only now. They're buying votes a long time. And you made the point about Kashif, where that thing was all over the net, you know, and I am not going to. And what has happened, that has contributed to, is to a very large extent the demise of a very good program that they had started sometime since 1993, I believe, around that time. You know, so here we are. We got to do better. We got to fight back, man.
Absolutely.
We got to fight back.
We got to do
better. And if we hadn't programs like yours, latest both radio station, you have a physical radio station and you have an online radio station. And there are other online programs. Yeah. The PPP with a run rough shadow over us, right? We have to keep them on their feet.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Lincoln. We get here, Collie Allen, also known as DJ Strimpy, is saying, whenever Lincoln Lewis talks, you don't need hearing aids. So listen and learn. DJ Strimpy says so. DJ Strimpy, call out the people them out in Linden. Put them on their guards. Let them go out and vote and not allow the PPP to take control of Linden. Lincoln, you were going to say something about Shrimpy, DJ Shrimpy. Go ahead.
Well, Shrimpy go back, Shrimpy go back. He's a voice in that Amelia's Ward boy is a voice in the town. I want to call on Shrimpy to call on these guys, the younger generation, to look at life differently. You guys were when you were in Linden, you were a voice to listen to. I believe that you still have the energy, Shrimp. You have to keep going. You have to help us out on the ground there. Call on them. Call these guys in Linden.
And
Call your
Shrimpy,
brother who lived there. Let him talk.
so if his name is Shrimpy, I'm sure his brother's name is probably Prawns. Shrimpy, Prawns.
Ah,
Shrimpy means well. Thank you so much, Shrimpy. Lincoln, before we go, I want you to listen to the type of people that the PPP is bringing in to their folds. We see lots of persons with big question marks behind their names, mind you. I want you to take a listen to this guy. This guy his name is Falcock, right? He told us that his name is Falcock. Not so long ago, this is Falcock. Not so long ago.
But this can't work. They had about good health care, and when they get sick, they charter plane.
You
You
know, charter,
understand?
they got their own plane, mom, to you operate
No,
like
they
you got
charter
gasoline.
plane for go to the United States.
They got their own jet.
Javier, United States, Granger, Cuba, Nagamutu, New York, heart bypass. Millions of dollars, millions of taxpayers' dollars being spent there. The ministers of government, the children to the American school, the best private school, and the best scholarship, where our kids go. You understand? This is what keep going on and on. It's a cycle. You know why it's an election campaign? Election campaign is where government go out and take money from big companies, come out and fool poor people. As you fool the poor people who vote for you, when they don't vote for you, thief the poor man taxpayers' dollar now and give back it to these big companies. So this is why the rich people keep getting richer and the poor remain poor all the time. And it's the same cycle every 5 years. Every 5 years they come around and do it. So this time, what we want, we know we can't win the election. We need a seat to sit on that table among those politicians so we don't give away more we timber, more we oil, more we gold and diamond, more we fertile agriculture land, that we don't give away nothing to the foreign companies and left we people hand to mouth and pour and give them handout. So now is the time I am begging that you guys give the support March 2nd to change Guyana so we can have a seat in this region too where Rupan Ramutar,
Mark,
AK Falka, could
I
represent
hear
the
you.
people of this region, that we have no yes man for political party, and I work towards the development of the people in this region. So I'm asking you guys to give your support and your vote for.
A few moments later.
Mark, I wasn't hearing what was he saying. Can you explain to me what I was saying?
All right. Basically, he was. I'm sorry you were not hearing Lincoln. Basically, Falcock, this guy, lots of question marks behind him, mind you, up in the Essequibo. Lots and lots of question marks. Rice mill bundong under questionable circumstances, house bundong under questionable circumstances, all manner of things. Question marks, mind you, behind his name, Falcock. He was basically campaigning in 2015, cussing out the PPP, cussing out Jack Dew and others, and so forth and so on. And now for the local government elections, look where he is right now. T-shirt, red T-shirt. Money must dry up. He and I'll probably collect a little $10,000, probably, I don't know, 10,000 for buy a little puri, little hot sour, little puri with sour pulori or something like that. What's your take on the type of individuals that the PPP attracting? These are the guys.
I want to tell you something. I want to talk about let me put it this way. The PPP is the type of organization that over the years has shown that he don't respect leaders that are elected by people unless they determine who those leaders are. Like the PPP talks about transforming Georgetown. They're saying to us that money is there to transform Georgetown. But the only way that money will be released is if the PPP win Georgetown and the mayor comes from the PPP This is instructive from the standpoint that the money is there, but unless we pay allegiance to the PPP, the basic things that we are entitled to, basic amenities in life, we will never receive them. And what they are doing is to identify even in African community who their leaders must be. Like what they are doing to Ipadachi right now. They are saying that Ipadachi, they are saying that they are not the elected leaders by Ipadachi, but they are saying that who they will give the money to for African people. What they are doing is to say to you, you elect who you want to elect. We will determine who lead you, who will spend the money. That's the type of people, that's the behavior of the PPP. And the people them that they are going to affix on us are people who they can control, who they have something over, who they will be able to tell that you either do this or we do that to you. That is what is happening right here now, as it relates to the person that you are identifying. The person that you have on the screen, as you explained, shady characters to a large extent. That's what they like. You can, when they put in the shady characters, they can't. You, as the shady characters, can't tell them what must happen. They will tell them what they must do. And what they are doing is using state funds to oppress us, and more so suppress our views, our wishes, and our motive. That's what we have.
And well said. That is why we've got to be on the lookout for these shady characters, them that are getting
Yes, Mark.
to go in and disrupt things. They are definitely paying those shady characters to intimidate people. We know who the shady characters are. We have seen them, and people must be on the lookout for those shady characters and not be afraid of them at all. So yesterday's turnout wasn't a positive vibe for the PPP. Again, before we wrap up, your message directly to APNU PNC supporters who are preparing to go out and vote. Again, I know you've been sounding that message. Your closing message to all of them.
I want to say to them, say to every Guyanese, go out there and vote. Vote for the people of your choice. Don't take money and don't let nobody pay you for your vote. For you Christians, if you are going to take money for your vote, remember one thing. Jesus Christ was sold. Money was paid for his identification and his life. If you are doing it, what you're doing is sell. If you're asked to do similar things, you are selling your future, the future of your children, your grandchildren, and the legacy of your forebear. We have to stand up and be counted. Don't allow yourselves to sell your principles. When you believe that, if one believes that when you vote and you collect the money, you're not selling yourself, you're selling yourself. Because what you're doing, you're voting for people who don't share your vision, your view, and want to help you to do better. Right? You are doing that. Those people don't want to help you to do better. You have to stand up. You're selling yourself for a mess of pottage. We have to stop doing these things. Thank you,
Thank you.
listeners, friends, well wishers, and Mark, thanks for inviting me once again.
Thank you so much, Lincoln Lewis, there for you guys. Just before we go, though, just remember the PPP that is now fighting to take over Georgetown. This was under the PPP regime. Jack Day, Ramotar, and these guys. They have no sense of decency, none whatsoever. This was the Georgetown under the PPP, where they starved the city council, of hundreds of millions of dollars, where they made the Le Ripentier Cemetery a dump site, turned it into a dump site under Chase Green and all these people who couldn't do anything and didn't do anything. Well, you know who stood up there along with Freddie Kissoon and defied the PPP, but we were locked up for 3 nights in Brigham lockups. 3 nights. This, my friends, is the Le Ripentier cemetery, whatever. That is where Jack Day and the PPP, this is what they did to Georgetown. There were days when people couldn't bury their loved ones there. They had to go through mud, swamp area. People had to drive in that area and wind their car windows up, those who had windows on their cars. All these sort of things under the PPP regime. Is this what you want Georgetown to return to? A filthy city? At a time, a man who claimed that he was, what was he, champion of the earth? While he was supposedly champion of the earth, this is how Georgetown was. And their only intention was to punish the people of Georgetown, punish them. Those in the east, La Penitence and the west area and these places, they couldn't use that roadway. Well, this is into the Le Ripentier Cemetery. This was right in there. They couldn't. And no one stood up. Not a Patricia Chase Green. This is what Patricia Chase Green, they allowed to happen to Georgetown. They weren't brave enough to go out there and stand up and defend your interests. What makes you think now, you guys think now, with them in a little red t-shirt, going to defend your interest? The Le Ripentier Cemetery, they shamelessly called it Mandela Dump Site. Everybody else were quiet, you know. Those who are hollering out for boycott elections now and so forth and so on, nobody weren't focusing on these things. Mandela Dump Site. This is the Le Ripentier Cemetery. This is Cemetery Road. Now they're talking about they want to beautify Cemetery Road. For 23 plus years, they couldn't do these things. Every time you see the PPP talking about beautifying X, Y, and Z, must know, you guys read between the lines. It's a contract for their friends and cronies. That is what it is. A contract for their friends and cronies. Friends and cronies. That is what it is all about. Friends and cronies. A contract so that they can get, you know what, kickbacks upon kickbacks. So when you think they care about your community, when you think they care about anything, no, they're not concerned about you. They don't care about your communities. They don't care because most of you guys don't look like them. And they don't want you guys to have anything better. Hence their reason for putting some of the people who look like you to go and clean drains and clean gutters and all these different things. That's what they do. That is exactly what they do because they have no regards. None whatsoever. No regards for you guys. None. Absolutely none whatsoever. And so, my friends, and those of you who are listening, it is time that you stand up. It is time that you stand up and do not allow, I repeat, do not allow the PPP to ever take control of the capital city, because the capital city will look just like this, And what they will do, they will have gunmen. They will have their private security, their gunmen, roaming the tongues, roaming Georgetown, roaming Linden. They will have their gunmen to do just that. Their gunmen to do just that. Hence your reason, hence the reason that you guys got to be extra, extra careful with these people. They owe the city of Georgetown hundreds of millions of dollars in rates and taxes, in taxes that they do not pay to, they do not pay to the city. But yet they want to tell you that they want to control the city now. Again, they will have their gunmen roaming Georgetown and taking control of Georgetown. Do you want that? Do you want your family members to live under siege? Is that what you want? Well, if that's what you want, it will happen if you do not go out and vote. You've got to go out and vote these vagabonds out of office. Otherwise, can't eat y'all dinner. Again, I repeat, otherwise can't eat y'all dinner. Call y'all friends and family members and tell them to go out and vote in these elections. Staying home right now and don't voting is not an option. It is not an option. Do not be fooled. Is this how you want Georgetown to look like? Look at this. Look at Georgetown under the PPP compared to when the coalition, when they were in office. Look what the coalition did to the city. In a short space of time, compared to all of these things under the PPP regime. More must be done. That is true. More must be done. That is why we have to be able to hold our leaders, whether it's the mayor of Linden, the mayor of Georgetown, the mayor of New Amsterdam, we've got to hold our leaders accountable. And that is why also we need strong men and women. You don't just grab anybody and put them as a mayor. It has happened in the past. It's got to stop. Put competent individuals who are willing and ready to stand up for your rights, stand up for you. Put real persons as mayors, real fighters. Real fighters. Now, I'm not running for office, mind you, so some of you might be smiling, right? But do not allow the PPP to get over you on this one here at all. Now, that was my vehicle in Guyana. After protesting here at that dump site where hundreds of people, scores of people, every day they pass this cemetery road, the dump site, every day until we said enough was enough. I called the PPP guy now, Freddie Kisoon, to say, let us protest. We were protesting. After we protested, the police decided to tow my vehicle away. That's parked properly in a corner. They decided to tow my vehicle away. A vehicle that I paid taxes for, duty, not like some of them who claiming that they're remigrant and they're not, they're robbing hundreds of millions of dollars to taxpayers there. They towed the vehicle away. After 3 nights in the lockups, and having to hear Freddie cry all 3 nights. Very annoying cry, but I still give him credit for braving and standing up there with me, protesting. Even though when the police came to arrest him, he told the police he wasn't there. But I whispered to the police that he was there because I ain't going in the lockup by myself. He had to go with me. But I regret telling the police that he was there because he cried all 3 nights. And unfortunately, there was an inspector by the name of Das who didn't want to arrest us, and the PPP transferred him with immediate effect to Borbies. They transferred him. Now, you see, we're holding our receipt there. We were placed now out of the lockups. No belt, no nothing. Nothing at all. Poor Freddie couldn't take it, man. Oh, poor Freddie cried all 3 nights. But we were placed on $1 bail. $1 bail. $1 bail. Y'all think it was easy, right? But yet some of you saying, oh, Bencham, they're far, Bencham. And we were right there. Nobody came out. Nobody, not even in the neighborhood, came out to support. Not even Chase Green and these people came out to stand with us. Not even Chase Green. But now they suddenly want you guys to believe that they care about your community. that they care about you. Shame on all of them. All of them. Shame on 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 the PPP. Shame on all of them. My name is Mark Benchap. I'm out of here. I'll see you guys hopefully this evening. I'm still a little under the weather, but I'll try not to take the NyQuil again closer to my showtime tonight, because that's what happened last evening. My apologies, but I'll try to be on with you guys tonight to ensure that we continue to call on folks in the AP and UPNC to go out and vote. This is critical. You've got to go out and vote. All right, so I will see you guys. I will see you guys later this evening. So long. Be strong. Be vigilant. Forget about the red. They're dead. The red is not a good color in terms of voting. You could wear red and party. You can put on red stuff and sleep with, but for voting, nope. Do not be fooled, guys. So long.
Hello, this is attorney Shellen Washington, owner and founder of the Washington Law Firm, located at 455 Utica Avenue in Brooklyn, New York. We're specialized in medical malpractice, personal injuries, matrimonial law, and landlord and tenant. If you're in need of legal representation, please give us a call today. The number to call is 718-877-3100. Consultation is free at no cost to you. So call us today to see if we can be of any assistance to your legal needs. Again, the phone number to call us is 718-877-3100.